nobody saw this coming. Everything may have just changed in the blink of an eye. Imagine the scene for a second. The alarms are blaring so loud they are shaking the walls. The thick, suffocating smoke is filling the hallways, making it impossible to see. Jack Brennan's secure office is suddenly engulfed in a massive, raging inferno. We are talking about a mysterious fire that seemingly comes out of nowhere, burning so hot that metal is melting and glass is shattering. At first glance, everyone in town thinks it is just a tragic accident. Maybe an electrical fault in an old building. Maybe a random act of vandalism targeting the WSB. The fire department rushes in with sirens screaming. The police scramble to secure the perimeter. The entire building is in absolute chaos as people are evacuated into the streets. But guys, this is where it gets interesting. This was never about burning down a building. This was a highly coordinated surgical strike. And the real target was something much smaller, but infinitely more dangerous. The chain reaction starts the exact second the flames are finally extinguished. The authorities step into the charred, smoking remains of the office, their flashlights cutting through the haze. Jack Brennan arrives on the scene, and he is absolutely furious. His eyes are cold, calculating, and filled with rage. He does not care about the expensive desk. He does not care about the burnt files or the destroyed computers. He rushes straight through the soot to his secure, reinforced safe. And guess what? It is completely empty. The black box is gone. That is right. The very same black box holding the most explosive secrets in Port Charles has vanished into thin air. It disappeared right in the middle of the chaotic evacuation. While the firefighters were battling the blaze and the police were pushing crowds back, someone slipped in and grabbed the ultimate prize. But wait, it gets worse. This was not a random opportunistic thief. Anna Devane arrives on the scene, flashing her badge and stepping past the yellow tape. She takes one look at the burn patterns on the walls and the breached security system on the safe. Her elite detective instincts kick into overdrive immediately. She can smell the chemical accelerant hidden beneath the scent of burnt wood. She knows instantly that this was a professional job, an inside job, or at least someone who knew exactly what they were looking for. Jason Morgan and Carly Spencer hear the news shortly after, and they immediately start putting the puzzle pieces together. They realize this was a meticulously planned operation. Someone wanted that box so badly, they were willing to commit massive arson and risk federal charges to get it. If you ask me, there is only one person in Port Charles who has the motive, the resources, and the sheer desperation to pull off a stunt this insane. Drew Kane. Yes, you heard that right. Drew Kane. Think about it, guys. We all know Drew has been slowly regaining his mobility after being paralyzed. We all know he has been playing a dangerous, high-stakes game of cat and mouse with everyone around him. But the black box is the one thing keeping him on a tight leash. It holds the undeniable evidence that could destroy his life, his reputation, and his freedom. You have to remember the trauma this man has been through. His time in captivity changed his brain. It made him paranoid, ruthless, and absolutely unwilling to let anyone control his destiny ever again. He refuses to be a victim. So, what does a desperate, traumatized man do when he is backed into a terrifying corner by a spy like Brennan? He burns the corner down to the ground. He destroys the chessboard so nobody else can play the game. Drew could have easily hired a professional crew to set the fire. It is the perfect distraction. Imagine the execution. While the whole city is watching the flames and the news helicopters are circling overhead, his operative sneaks in. Maybe they are wearing fake firefighter gear. Maybe they hacked the security grid hours before the first spark was even lit. They bypass the biometric locks, snatch the black box, and walk right out the front door, blending in with the first responders. Just like that, the evidence is gone. And that changes everything in Port Charles. With the black box officially out of Jack Brennan's hands, the entire power dynamic shifts instantly. Drew achieves two massive goals in one single, ruthless move. First, he strips Brennan of his most dangerous weapon, leaving the master spy temporarily disarmed. Second, he completely frees himself from the lingering, suffocating threat of blackmail. In Drew's mind, that box was the only thing standing between him and total control of his life. It was the only leverage that could expose his darkest secrets and hidden agendas to the authorities. Now, he thinks it is destroyed. Or better yet, he thinks it is safely sitting in his own possession. He thinks he has won the war. Here is where things get incredibly messy. When a man like Drew Kane believes he is completely untouchable, he becomes incredibly dangerous. The fear is gone. The hesitation is erased. The careful, calculated planning is replaced by pure, unadulterated wrath. He does not need to play defense anymore. He does not need to hide in the shadows or pretend to be weak. He is ready to go on a massive offensive, and his first targets are the two women who tried to keep him locked down and silenced, Nina Reeves and Willow Kane. Guys, nobody is safe from what happens next. Nina Reeves is already on edge, jumping at every single shadow in her apartment. She pushed Drew into the lake. She knows he is recovering and rapidly regaining his physical strength. But she has been relying heavily on Jack Brennan to protect her. She has been counting on that black box to keep Drew in check and far away from her doorstep. Now, imagine her sheer, paralyzing terror when she finds out the box is gone. The realization hits her like a massive freight train. She frantically calls Brennan, begging for an update, only to hear the cold, hard truth. She is completely exposed. Drew is coming for her, and he is not going to hold back an ounce of his anger. He wants brutal revenge. He wants to make her pay for every single moment of panic, drowning, and helplessness she caused him. Nina is going to have to look over her shoulder every single minute of the day. What happened next may be even worse. Willow Kane is right in the crosshairs alongside Nina, and her situation is arguably more terrifying. Willow actually thought she had the upper hand in this twisted, toxic marriage. She thought she could control her husband's fate and keep him quiet forever using her medical access. She was ready to take extreme, even deadly measures to silence him permanently. But without Brennan's leverage, Willow's entire safety net collapses into dust. Drew knows exactly what she was planning. He knows she tried to keep him paralyzed, trapped in his own body, and silenced from telling the truth to the world. And now that he is free and mobilized, he is not just going to walk away and file for divorce. He is going to unleash a storm on Willow that she will never see coming. She realizes that all her medical knowledge cannot save her from a physical and psychological attack by a furious Drew Kane. Her reputation, her career, and her life are all on the line. He decides to take them both down at the exact same time. Why wait? He believes there is absolutely no evidence left in the world to stop him. He can manipulate the narrative to the police. He can twist the truth to his family. He can destroy Nina's life and tear Willow's world apart piece by piece. The dominoes are falling rapidly now. Drew's newfound confidence makes him reckless and arrogant. He starts making moves in broad daylight. He confronts Nina, backing her into a corner. He corners Willow, letting her know he holds all the cards. The tension is absolutely suffocating. You can feel the danger radiating off him in every single interaction. He is a man totally unbound by consequences, but that is not even the biggest surprise. Let us take a step back for a second. Do we really think Jack Brennan is that careless? Do we honestly believe a seasoned WSB veteran, a master spy who has survived international espionage, would leave his most valuable piece of leverage sitting in a vulnerable office safe? If you ask me, that is the biggest mistake of Drew Kane's entire life. Brennan is always 10 steps ahead of everyone else in Port Charles. He knew the black box was a massive target. He knew someone eventually would make a desperate play for it. So, what if the box in the office was a fake? That is right, guys. A decoy. A brilliantly placed trap waiting to be sprung by a desperate fool. Brennan likely took the real, original black box and hid it in a secure, undisclosed location long ago. He left the fake box in the safe specifically to lure out the rats hiding in the dark. And Drew Kane just walked right into the trap with a smug smile on his face. Drew thinks he is a criminal mastermind. He thinks he outsmarted a top-tier international spy. He is walking around Port Charles, acting like a king, threatening Nina and Willow, completely unaware that he is dancing on a trapdoor that is about to swing wide open. And then everything spirals completely out of control. By orchestrating the fire and stealing the decoy box, Drew has inadvertently exposed his true colors to the entire city. He has shown his hand to Brennan. But it is not just Brennan who is watching this unfold. Anna Devane and Jason Morgan are tracking the fallout closely. They are connecting the arson directly to Drew's sudden burst of arrogant confidence. They see him going after Nina and Willow with zero fear. They realize, without a shadow of a doubt, that Drew is the one who ordered the hit on Brennan's office. Jason is already preparing for the worst, knowing he might have to step in with lethal force to protect the people he cares about. Carly is warning her family to stay on high alert. The fake box might even be a high-tech tracking device, leading Brennan right to Drew's secret operatives. This could be the biggest mistake of someone's life. Drew is about to realize that he did not destroy the evidence. He just gave Brennan the ultimate proof of his guilt. The fire was not a victory. It was a massive, glowing beacon pointing directly at Drew's crimes. The war between Brennan and Drew is no longer a Cold War. It is an all-out, explosive conflict, and right in the middle of it are Nina, Willow, Carly, Jason, and Anna. The stakes have never been higher. The real black box is still out there, holding the power to destroy lives. And Jack Brennan is about to drop the heavy hammer of justice. Just when Drew thinks he has won the game, his entire world is about to go up in flames. A massive secret is about to be exposed, a dangerous plan is about to collapse, and someone is going to pay the ultimate price. You absolutely cannot miss what happens next.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.